talk too. I found this in stores, and I've been looking for this forever, man. Like original copy and everything. I had to make sure it said 1996. No reprint, no
Wow.
nothing.
Well, you came up. I had to buy mine like on eBay.
Oh really?
Yeah. I had to buy mine on eBay because pretty penny.
you know, you know,
Yeah.
you know what's also crazy too? Like 8 hours after our interview, Crooked Eye appeared on the show.
Word.
Yeah. And and then a couple months after, I found out that he had his own radio show and he interviewed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still find that crazy, man. I was like, man, I was telling my guy the other day, I'm like, I interviewed these guys both in the same day. They're like, word?
Yeah. And now he's doing really awesome with
Crook's Corner.
his show. Yeah, Quick's Corner, man. So
Oh,
he's
I
killing
can't
it.
wait to see you up there, man.
Yeah. We talked about it, so it should be happening soon.
All right. So since last time we spoke too, Raz, too, you released the first part of Soul on Ice 2, which is called Intellectual Property. And you're actually coming up with the second half, Soul on Ice 2.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know too, this project been in the works for a while, and you decided to split it up into two pieces, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had so much for IP, but I knew I wanted to do basically a trilogy. So Solo Nights being the first IP, I had so much content for that that I wanted to just give it some time and really write out some things I wanted to really say for Solo Nights too. So it was a plan. I mean, I think it became a plan as I started on intellectual property. I thought I was going to just do them back to back really fast, but I just had so much with the concept of IP that I knew I wouldn't be able to focus on Solo Nights 2 for a while. So it just made more sense to let it breathe. And now it's done. Yeah, now it's done.
Did you know you were gonna have the book beforehand, or that came after?
I did not. The
Okay.
book uh, has been in the process in the past year. Like,
Okay.
but initially starting to write the album, uh, no, I wasn't sure I was gonna have. I wanted to, but I wasn't sure how to actually execute and get that done. And then thanks to my buddy Kurt at Patchworks, he helped me figure out how to you know do both at the same time. I thought I'd put out the album and then eventually have the book. Um, I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but it actually worked out perfectly.
And it has all the song lyrics in there in it as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for the people who don't know too, if you don't have this original Soul on Ice copy, all the lyrics are in the original book as well too. So I like it's like how a continuation, but the fans can actually get like a big piece of physical.
Right, tangible literature. Yeah.
Exactly. Because your music gets studied in Harvard high schools too in English classes.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
can you remember the first time like a teacher ever like coming up to you? It's like I taught nature of a threat in this school and my students got phenomenal.
I feel like it may have been a college teacher. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't sure if it was a high school teacher. I don't know if it was a college teacher. Um, I know like the third person was like somebody in Europe, like somebody in London
Oh
that was
wow!
and which but I was just blown away the first time. I remember somebody telling me I used nature to threat and got an A in my history class, and I was like, oh well, that's cool. And then somebody told me, same thing in college. I used nature to threat and I got an A. I was like, well, that's positive. That's dope. But once people were saying I'm using it as curriculum to teach, that was just it's a blessing. I didn't like invent the information,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's not like I get the credit for it. I'm just thankful I could kind of
Pass it on.
lay it out in a linear format that people could at least interpret it, read it, whether they disagreed or not, or how they felt about it. That I was able to create a format for people that maybe not necessarily they wouldn't get that kind of information from. So I'm thankful for that.
And for you actually having like such an extensive discography too, when you're putting together solo nights too, do you ever get like kind of like I don't know if I can top the first one, but then do you like after you hear the music, it's like you know what, I can do it. There's no problem.
I'm my own worst critic. Always been. I mean, but I felt like to be better than the first one, or actually for it to make sense to be a second one,
Yeah.
there were just certain key notes and a certain rhythm that it needed to have. It wasn't about doing a part two just for the sake of having a part two. It was more about making a part two because, you know, Tupac and Biggie and Big Pun and and Fife. Like a lot of people are gone; they passed away, and
Yeah.
they don't get to celebrate their 25th anniversary. Nipsey Hussle, a lot of people,
Yeah.
they will never be able to celebrate 25 years of of some of them didn't even barely made it to 25 years of life.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, every day is precious. This journey is precious. It's rough sometimes, and sometimes it's almost like I feel like it's thankless or whatever. But at the end of the day, I am blessed to be here, and I'm thankful that I can celebrate it. And it was for me to analyze, you know, doing this professionally. Um, it's my job. Like this is what I do for a living. And it's about passion. It's something I really love doing. To analyze that and say, what have I learned in these 25 years of this journey? How am I different? How am I the same? So um, for me, it was really more about not just making a part two, but
Yeah.
to analyze, to compare and contrast 25 years of my journey. And so that's what I did. And once we got from there, that's when I realized like it wasn't going to be hard because I don't have to do the same thing. I just have to be honest and analyze myself and analyze the country I live in, the state of the music that I love, and what do I what do I see differently? What do I see the same? How have I changed? How am I the same? And so from there, it got a lot easier. Um, the only other thing was for me, I wanted to create a sonic soundscape that felt the way I feel, and when I channel, like I didn't want it to sound like a retro album. I wanted it to sound like how I feel now, but still trying to do things that are cutting edge, things that are more futuristic. We've always tried to, we may succeeded or done the best job, but we always tried to make like it.
Oh, come back. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but
Gotta love the Wi-Fi.
yeah, yeah, but we were doing ambient music more more spacey than a lot of people even back then. Like we always picked kind of a different sound palette. And so I was trying to do that on this one. I'm thankful to the people that came in and helped me. Every single person, just period. Some people came in and uh, you know, my homegirl's doing Xhosa. She's doing South African tribal language on a record,
Oh wow.
the CeeLo record. So, we try to make a bigger record, a more like a universal, big, like I've grown. So who am I now as opposed to me trying to be who I was back then? So I think, I'm thankful. I think we did a good job.
I like how you said like you're growing as an artist too, because you'd be surprised at all the some people I talk to that they're so comfortable staying in their own lane. It's like, well, this is kind of all I know.
Yeah. I don't want, I never wanted to be that. I'm constantly, this is kind of the end of this chapter for me. Like, I kind of don't ever want to look backwards again. It's kind of like this is that, and I'm closing the door, and it's time to move on. And I hope people, especially if we're talking about, being creative and making some hip hop that still um, is in the now. I'm not trying to be current, but I'm in my now. I'm not trying to relive 1998. Um, yeah,
That's true.
I can only hope that people, have open ears and enjoy the things that, I want to do and the people around me that we're trying to do and bring to the table.
I was curious too because this is like I heard this like rumors like rumors starting the industry. Did the Source really want to give Soul on Ice 6 mics when it first came out?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, and that was like unheard of too back then. Like, cause I bet you sent out an advance copy back then too for them to
Yeah.
review it.
So in late '94, that's when my record was coming out initially. Um, and Nas had just gotten 5 mics, and then they heard Nature the Threat, and they heard these records, and yeah, no, they had a serious discussion. They were going to give me probably 6 mics. They were like, "Well, how do we compare this with no disrespect, but literally Nature the Threat is a different animal than what most MCs were writing. Period. Um, to this day, most
I was
artists
just
can't
gonna
write.
say, I was like, to
Right?
this day still.
Yeah, like especially. I mean, back then, it's probably arguably better MCs. So even then, it was a tough act to follow. And they're like, well, damn, what do we give this if we gave that? So yeah, there was a serious discussion. Um, Unfortunately for me, it was my business was messed up. Um, I had to renegotiate, and then there were major record deal offers. Um, because just because the business was messed up, it basically my album was like a year and almost a year and a half later
Oh wow.
that my album came out, and by then they had already basically heard the album, so it was almost like timing is everything. They'd heard the majority of the album, and then maybe I did like 3 or 4 new ones. My budget was on, that they heard, but they had heard the meat and potatoes of the album, and um, you know, obviously I didn't get 5 nights. It was just old to them, so I
Yeah.
understood that. It was unfortunate, but yeah, initially in 90, late '94, early '95, 6 mics. '96, 3.5 or something,
Wow.
whatever.
I'm
Yeah,
still giving that 6 mics. I don't give a fuck if the Source exists or not. That's still 6 mics to me.
yeah, it is what it is.
When you're actually, cause like it's like how you said too, you don't try to go back and redo 1998 too. Um, the first time you ever did Action Guaranteed, that was with OC. Was that the first time you ever met him too?
No, no.
Oh, okay. So you guys known each other beforehand. You actually did music.
Yeah, King Capri was a really very supportive big brother to me, and he would have me around and brought me out to New York. So I already knew OC and a lot of Digging in the Crates guys. Um, I was a big fan, obviously, of OC from Times Up. Um, so we had interactions way like at least a year before that. So when they asked me did I want to do a song with OC, I was like, fuck yeah. Same thing. Just on some homie shit, I was like, that'd be dope. But the ironic part is we knew each other,
Beforehand.
and they wanted a lyrical record. And because we hung out, we knew each other's personalities. So they were a little upset that we did Action Guarantee, to be honest.
Oh shit.
They wanted Remain Anonymous Times Up. They wanted us to battle
Yeah.
rap. But we hung out and drank Hennessy and, dress fly and girls like us.
Debauchery.
Like we were the fly dudes. So when we actually got together, like, I don't want to do no fucking overly rappy shit. I mean, he felt the same way. He was like, why don't we do some shit that we normally do? Like when we out and about together. I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then we did Action Guarantee. And they were like, they were not as happy. It was hilarious. They were,
That's
yeah.
good. It's like, hey, you
Shouts
can't
out to
for
lyricists. Like honestly, like Tommy and them, you can ask them. Like they were a little upset. Like they're like, we didn't expect y'all to make this shit is fun and bouncy and have a
yeah.
good time and kind of singing and shit. They were like not happy, but the record stands up, man. It's actually a good record. It's a good vibe record. So I'm glad. I'm actually glad we went that route, and I think that's one of the things about being a like lyricists get put in boxes. Meanwhile, you let whack rappers do everything they want to do.
Yeah.
Kind of whack. I think that's really corny. That lyricists like perform that same trick, be lyrical all the time, whereas whack dude, he gets every opportunity to make a hit record. He can
Yeah.
make a western record. He can make a girl record, and then when his records pop, they still brown nose him anyway.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but they want to limit the lyrical people. So not good. It's really bad.
you're
It's counterintuitive, actually.
well, and also too, like, even like some of the rappers who are quote unquote lyricists today, like, did Jordan Lucas ever say sorry to you yet?
No, 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 no. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I wonder if I mean, he never really clarified, so I just wasn't sure where he was going with the line.
That was so out of the blue.
Yeah, it was just, I got it. I mean, I couldn't really understand it. It's like it could be taken either way, disrespectfully. So I did, I did due diligence, got nothing back. I actually had fun. There's a hidden record on Solo Nights 2 where I address him in the last verse of the record.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to go back and double check on that shit now.
There's a hidden song called Ghosted, and third verse, there's a couple of joiner bars in there.
See, and I like too, like, you came back so fast too. He's like, I'm not just gonna let this young man just like try to walk all over me. He's like, I'm fucking Ras Kass here.
Yeah, I mean, it's sport. I was actually, I was in Australia, but I was getting too many texts and
Oh wow,
emails about it.
Australia.
Yeah, so, I'm like, bro, you can't just, like, use me as your stepping stone. Like, it's blood sport. So it was fun. I think I made it very clear that probably shouldn't mention me if it's not positive.
um,
It don't take me too long to write an answer, but
when you were actually recording with Jay. I seen somewhere that somebody kicked Michael Jackson out of a studio when you were there.
oh no, they did. The studio that Dre had for Aftermath, it was a studio that Michael Jackson used, and he got a budget where they froze Michael Jackson out, like kicked him out of the studio. Like they I believe the number was $1 million for 1 year,
Shit.
and to lock in the studio, which means Michael Jackson could no longer work there, which was crazy. I remember that. Yeah, they literally froze him out of the studio.
How much people?
Like, all the time, like period, like that's it. And who's not gonna take the man? I mean, I'm sure Michael Jackson could have countered like $2 million.
Because a lot of people don't realize too that you were Kendrick before Kendrick, and you were literally Eminem before Eminem. For the people who don't understand too, because like, would you consider yourself like ahead of your time, or you don't like to think like that?
Um, Keith Murray used to always tell me that. I don't know what I am. They say timing is everything, so obviously I've been ahead of my time. If people that may have been highly inspired by me have gotten so much. They definitely had a ginormous amount of success. Maybe I was assigned to the wrong label, so the business was wrong. Maybe I'm dark skinned and doesn't work well saying what I say with this complexion. I don't know what the factors are. I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting because I know it can be done. I see what M's done and Kendrick, to a lesser degree, Royce 5'9". So it can be done. It's just everybody's journey is different. I'm just going to keep. For one, I do enjoy it, and for two, as a business, I deserve the equity out of it that I put into it. So I'm just here, not stressing, but enjoying it and trying to you know, line up my my constellation so shit works the way it's supposed to work for me.
Well, and also too, like there's those two names that you just mentioned, Eminem and Royce. Do you inspired them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by amnesia, they could always, Royce is very, vocal about it even nowadays. And so that's always nice, man. It's just a blessing to, you know, because those things go far because they have a wider range of people that are familiar with them now. So, you know, uh, it helps. Same thing when Jay Z said, to be told lyrically Talib Kweli. That was a whole range of people that didn't know who Talib Kweli was. That just really helped him expand his base. So giving credit where credit is due, it doesn't hurt the guy that's successful
Yeah.
to say it, but it could definitely pay a lot of dividends for the guy that gets mentioned and gets his credit. So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. Mm-hmm.
When you actually meet people that inspired you too, like, do they always like have a conversation with you? It's like, wow, I didn't even know I did that kind of things towards you. It's like, yo, man, like when I was listening to Nature of the Threat, man, like this really inspired me to write this album or something like that.
Nah, man. I mean, for me, I'm inspired by so many people. I always try to tell people that, like, man, I'm a really big fan, and um, uh, when people are a fan of mine, it's humbling. So I think that the best thing you do is, you know, it doesn't hurt you to give people credit, man. So I try to give credit, like, yo, that's dope, man, and I really enjoyed blah blah blah. And I ask questions, about songs, like, yo, I've asked, Twister, the Eminem, like, about specific lines, like, what did you say right there? Like, it sounded dope, but I just didn't know what you actually said. And then, I'm lucky enough to be able to have that conversation with somebody that I'm a fan of that a lot of people may not ever get that access to and have been able to ask things like, yeah, what did you really say? The ran. It's like, no, I said da 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 da. I'm like, wow, it's that much iller. It sounded dope, but now it's like sick because I hear what you literally said. And so, that part is dope, man. I think we can all support each other and be fans, and we can be fans and stars at the same time, man. I think.
That's a fact right there, too. Because a lot of people they'll be so afraid to admit that they're fans of one another because they want to quote unquote they're considered dick right. It's like, dude, it's called paying homage.
Right, right, right.
Um, One of my favorite verses from you too, because you do a lot of music, so I'm not too sure if you know like many of your guest verses that you do. It's actually on Bishop Lamont and Black Milk's Calitrot. It's called I Need It. It's featuring you and Tash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know so.
You and Bishop are from the same town.
Same city. Yeah.
So did you know of Bishop before that he actually started to take music, or like you kind of met him
No, no, no,
after?
no, no. I did not. I was already running around off of my own adventures with one of his bigger homies by then. So I met Bishop. I mean, I saw him, and I would say Absol more often than Bishop because Absol's family owned the record store. Oh, so, yeah, and yeah, Bishop. I would see him, but we weren't tight.
Yeah.
You know, just like even Absol and like my homies in my neighborhood, they were all doing music together, but I was kind of already off on my journey, so I wasn't like hanging. But I knew they were making music, and I was hearing stuff, and I was like, "Yo, it's dope," you know. But I was like, I was just focused on myself. Like I think to a certain degree, you get, um, single focused. You
Yeah.
put on your blinders, and you're just trying to, you know, because everybody is wants you to hear stuff, and they think you could really help, but sometimes you're not in that position yet. You just like I got to get me together, so then I'll be able to help. So that at, around that time, it was just, you know, uh, I know I had blinders on. I was like, I was in a bad production deal, but everybody thought I was rich, and I'm like, not rich, bro. And everybody's like trying to get me to sign them. I'm like, I'm not Tupac, bro. I'm not popping like that. Like, they play a song on the radio a little bit. That's it. So I
Yeah.
was going through my own, just trying to salvage me, trying to keep my career going. Yeah.
Because when I hear your two lyrical content together too, like you guys speak on like facts of life that other artists are afraid to speak on too, and I was curious that if you ever thought about doing a collaborative album of somebody like that too, because you guys touch on social topics that not a lot of people touch on.
Yeah, no, we are always discussing it. Um, I think we're definitely interested in doing it. Again, a lot of this is just about um, having the platform and opportunity to do the things you want to do. And so, when that's what a record deal is, they gave you the platform and the time to be able to focus strictly on that. You know what I mean? So, there are many of us that I would even say for the Horsemen, when
Ah,
things got when things got hard, Corrupt was gone because if Snoop says, "Hey, we're going to Europe for 9 months," I wouldn't say no.
well,
You're
yeah,
gonna make Yeah, come make this $400,000. Come with me on the road for 9 months. He's out. Same thing that would happen with Killer Priest when Ghostface is like, "Yo, we out." Or RZA's like, "We gotta go." And so, you know, those things have to make sense where you're able to focus on something at least 90% of your time. And unfortunately, the times we did, somebody would mess it up. And nowadays it's just we're all kind of singularly, individually having to deal and focus on our own specific careers. But there's no bad blood. It's all love and respect. And hopefully, sometime in the near future, like me and Priest have been discussing some things we want to do. Um, Part of it is contingent, really, like I want to sit down with RZA, kind of send him, show him, what our idea, our plan is, and then if we can get a go with Riz, then it makes everything easier because it's Riz. So that's what we're
yeah.
hoping for.
I like how you actually brought the Four Horsemen thing up too, because it's in my notes. I used to before I started podcasting, I used to try to go and find that little EP that somebody cannabis manager released, and then I found out years after that you do not co-sign that little EP he put together and threw out there.
No, I didn't.
See, and that's what makes me appreciate the art that much more, that I can't listen to it the same too, because it's like, well, Raz don't really co-sign this, and this was just a bunch of verses that were from 3, 4 years ago, and Cannabis's manager did some snake move and he threw it out like that.
Yeah, man, and that my whole thing is always just like if we're spending all our time and energy, and then even just one person takes it, and if we didn't mix it, we didn't master it, and then you take it and then you saying fuck our time and our energy and our money.
Yeah.
And so, the same thing about people who don't, why put a link out to my project? Like, I'm gonna do a video about that, which is you complain about why hip hop ain't good, but I had to spend, $40,000, $50,000 to get this album done, to master, engineers. None of this shit ain't free. And then you put a link to the whole thing. Like, you just said fuck me and fuck my kids and fuck my job and fuck my music. Like, but then you complain about it ain't good hip hop. But then you just fucked it.
Yeah. It's like, how does that work?
Right. Like, where's the logic in that? Like, how stupid, how fucked up are you? And I'm almost was about to quit this shit because of somebody leaking. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Eminem. I need every single record sale, and you would be such a stupid, selfish fucking asshole to say fuck the little bit of investment that everybody came to the table, Snoop Dogg and Styles P and Justice League and my money
Oh
and my
wow.
investments and say fuck my life, fuck my kids, man. And I mean, I'm still kind of, you know, it's been a big blow. Like I don't understand that. Like, answer that, hip hop. Like, what? Like, I wish I could walk in his house and beat his ass in front of his mother and his kid, because that's what he's doing to me. Whoever did it,
Yeah.
whoever linked my shit and put links up everywhere to download it, he said fuck my kids and fuck my mom and fuck everybody, fuck me and fuck everybody that helped. So I should go to your house and, you know, if whoever did it, I wish I could literally go to his house. I'd go piss all over his couch and I'd beat his ass and maybe stab him, because that's what you're doing to me. You stabbing and
Yeah.
pissing and shit and all that in my mama's house, bro. That shit is whack. And then you claim you like hip hop, and I just don't get it.
And it's a culture vulture. That's what I like to say.
Yeah, I guess.
Um, because like I like how you said that you were gonna quit because Van Gogh actually got shelved, like and Golden shelved. Like most artists, when they get like two albums that don't really come out and they leak, they would just say fuck this shit. And imagine if you would have said fuck that, we never would have got intellectual property. We would have never got the upcoming Soul on Ice, or we wouldn't even got Revenge of the Spit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a glutton for punishment or something. I have no idea.
I want to I won't take up much of your time, guys. I gotta ask you this: the first time you ever seen Star Wars, because you have a mixtape dedicated to that.
Right. Revenge of the Spit.
Yes, sir. Um, can you remember, like, was it Empire Strikes Back, or was it the very first Star Wars? Star Wars.
I feel like I just remember Empire Strikes Back. That's what stays in my mind, because I just remember we went to the movies, um, and I don't know why I was in the kitchen. I was washing a dish to have something like juice or water, and my sister did the boo, like boo, and scared me, and I threw the glass and I cried. It was scary. Empire Strikes Back was kind of scary to me. So I just remember that my mom yelling at my sisters, like, because I got older sisters, and she's like, "Don't be messing with him," and I was super scared. So, and then I went back, and then I'm like, "This ain't scary. This is ill." Like, you know,
Yeah.
back then it was kind of, like, you know, I guess for however old I was at that time, it I'm your father, and it was just like, yeah, I was freaked out. I was
would
fucked up.
would you say that you are actually the artist to actually be the first to incorporate the two?
I don't know. I've never. I know I'm. You know, I'm pretty sure. I know I'm the first person to incorporate BDs. I know I'm the first to incorporate MMA, UFC.
Oh
The
wow.
first, the first one. Yeah, I did that in the first album. Talk about MMA, like UFC shit. Then I doubled down on it the second album and did UFC shit. Um, but like, you know, a lot of rappers probably would talk about Star Wars and Marvel, because it's just boy shit.
Oh,
Transformers. We like the same toys. He-Man. Like all boys from that era. You know, those probably boys from the 70s and 80s just know those toys, Hasbro and all that shit. So we all grew up off of it. So I don't. I wouldn't say. I couldn't say I was like the first. I don't know. But you know, I think I was just. You know, I was talking about Wolverine. You know, and before I got a. You know, I did the freestyle with on the 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 wake up show, Slaying Tech. So I. You know, it's just those things that are common pop culture boy, urban boyhood nerd shit. That's kind of where I write from. I write from that place of being that boy that likes some nerdy shit that still is in the hood. You know, that's kind of where that's my kind of take in music, is where I come from.
and then also too, like when I hear like artists like yo, he's a deadly Jedi master. Every time when I hear like another artist called an elite MC a Jedi master, I just think of like I'm pretty sure Ras Kass was the first to call himself the Jedi master. But yeah, I'm gonna let that slide.
You know, I don't know. Maybe I know. I'd have to listen to a whole bunch of Big Daddy Kane. Uh, Biggie might have said some shit. You never know. So I got to list Redman. There's a lot of people that might have said some
that's
Jedi
true.
shit. Yeah, man. So, I don't know. Not sure.
Um, is JMO Gang, is that still coming too?
Yeah, Jamo Gang is dropping next year.
Oh, next year, 2020. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. We have a JMO Gang record on my project. J57 has a solo project. We all have solo projects this year.
Okay.
And then the group album comes early first quarter of next year. We're actually out here shooting some Django videos while I'm doing press for Solo Nights too.
For the people who don't understand, what does JMO actually mean? Is that an acronym?
No, we it's pretty cool. We just became friends drinking Jameson.
Oh, okay. So like when Crick said, "Give me another shot of that JMO, take the edge off."
Right. Yeah. Man. We just.
I gotta think of that too.
It was the common denominator of how we met. The first time we got in the studio. It's totally ironic because it's like nobody's Irish in the team. Two Italian kids and a Creole boy. So it's hilarious. So I think it's great.
Because I don't drink it. Shout out to JMO Gang. I don't drink though, but when you guys drink though, I salute. I got the coffee over here.
Yeah, we drink the coffee. It's good. It's a mind frame. You don't have to actually drink Jameson. It's just
Oh yeah. When you were actually with the JMO crew, I was actually curious too on when you go to certain parties overseas, because I'm pretty sure you go to after parties overseas.
Mm-hmm.
What was the craziest party you ever went to?
Oh man, good question.
Because you must have seen a lot of crazy parties overseas.
I'm trying to think of the craziest party.
Or one of them. You don't have like the craziest.
Honestly, it's probably blanked out of my head, man. I forget more than I remember on purpose. Like I suppress memories. I can't think of anything crazy. Maybe because I don't want to get in trouble. I have no idea. I can honestly say, like right now, I can't.
Okay.
Drawing blank on that.
Well, at least you're honest, and I just like to come up with something. It's like, yo, man, I was at some place in Europe, blah 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 blah. It's like, yo, you keep it real. That's why I fucks with you.
Oh yeah, man. My natural state, man. I really like. It's easier to just tell the truth.
That's a fact right there. Well, Ras Kass, this is kind of crazy how this happens too. This is near the end of each episode too. You were my season 1 finale guest, and you were my season 4 finale guest. So I just want to say, my guy, I'm gonna cherish this album a lot more often now. I'm gonna get this framed.
Thank you, brother.
Is there anything that
That's
you?
that
Is there anything that you? Is there anything that you like to plug in before I let you go, Raz?
Yeah, no, just follow me on the gram at RAS_KSS. I would just, we definitely want to support. There's a new video out called Shark Week where we switch from 3/4 to 4/4 time, which is waltz 3/4. So check out the video, show the support, please spread the word, and I hope you enjoy the journey. Solo Nights 2 is it will be out like immediately, like ASAP.
And for the people watching too, go support this man too, because this is a legend right here, guys. We don't get much legends who are this humble.
Oh man, thank you, brother. Thanks. Season 1, season 4.
Season 4. They're from the Desk Glow, featuring the humble legend Ras Kass, people.
One love.
One love.
Peace.
I just stopped the recording.